The unbreakable resolve. The message arrived on Earth's orbital command station exactly 50 years after humanity's first successful interstellar flight. Captain Maya Rice stood before the massive holographic display, her dark eyes fixed on the alien delegation materializing before her. The Collective, a consortium of advanced species spanning 3 galactic arms, had finally acknowledged humanity's achievements, with conditions. "We welcome Earth to the galactic community," announced Ambassador Threll, a tall being with metallic scales that shimmered under the station's lights. "Your species has shown remarkable progress, though you are still in your developmental stage." Maya maintained her diplomatic smile, despite the condescension in the alien's tone. She hadn't spent 20 years rising through the ranks of Earth's United Space Command to be patronized like a child at an adult's table. "The Collective has established protocols for emerging species," Threll continued, his translator rendering his clicking speech into smooth English. "For your protection and the stability of regional space, human expansion beyond your current colonial systems will be restricted. The Exarillians will serve as your mentors." That evening, Maya sat in her private quarters reviewing the documentation the Collective had provided. Despite achieving faster-than-light travel independently and establishing 4 extrasolar colonies, humanity was being treated like an adolescent species not to be trusted with the full privileges of galactic citizenship. "They've established checkpoints at every navigational corridor leading out from our sector," reported Commander Elijah Chen, her second-in-command. His hologram flickered slightly as he transmitted from Luna Base. "So we're effectively confined to our corner of space," Maya replied, fingers drumming against her desk. "For our protection, of course." Chen nodded grimly. "Of course. The Carillion advisors arrive tomorrow to begin what they're calling the integration process." The next morning, Maya called an emergency meeting with Earth's leadership. Representatives from all major nations and colonial governments gathered virtually in the council chamber. Maya stood at the center, her uniform crisp and her expression severe. "The Collective has effectively put us under house arrest," she explained. "They claim it's temporary, but their documentation suggests at least a century of oversight before we might earn greater autonomy." President Afolayan of the United Earth Government leaned forward, his face grave on the massive screen. "Do we have a choice? Their technology far exceeds ours." "That's what they want us to believe," Maya replied. "But our scientists have analyzed the technical data they shared. The gap isn't nearly as wide as they suggest, particularly in propulsion and energy systems." Defense Minister Quan frowned. "Are you suggesting we reject their terms?" "No," Maya said, her voice steady. "I'm suggesting we play along while preparing alternatives." 6 months passed. The Exarillians established embassies on Earth and each colony, beginning what they called cultural exchange programs. They shared carefully selected technological insights while collecting vast amounts of data on human society. Maya was assigned as the primary liaison, meeting daily with Ambassador Threll and his team. The Exarillians seemed genuinely curious about humans, but their curiosity had an edge to it, like scientists studying particularly interesting specimens. "Your species adapts remarkably quickly," Threll noted during one meeting. "It's both your greatest strength and your greatest risk." "Risk?" Maya asked innocently. "Many developing species burn brightly but briefly," Threll explained with an air of superiority. "They advance too quickly and self-destruct. The Collective's guidance prevents such tragedies." After the meeting, Maya met secretly with her hand-picked team in a facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, designed by Earth engineers to block all known surveillance methods. "They're afraid of us," she told them bluntly. "Not of what we are, but of what we might become." Chen displayed the data they'd gathered from careful observation and discreet probing of collective systems. "We've identified 12 other developing species under collective supervision. All have been restricted for at least 300 years. So much for temporary oversight." Maya nodded, her decision made. "I've been authorized to implement Operation Phoenix. We smile and comply officially." while building our strength privately. The team worked tirelessly. While the official Earth government cooperated with collective representatives, a shadow research division operated in hidden facilities across the solar system. 3 years into the mentorship, Maya received a coded message during a routine inspection of Mars' colony. She excused herself from Threll's presence and found Chen waiting in a maintenance tunnel. "We've done it," he whispered, eyes alight with excitement. "The displacement shield works. We can mask an entire ship from their sensors." Maya kept her face neutral despite the thrill racing through her. "How soon can we test it beyond the checkpoints?" 2 weeks. The prototype vessel is almost ready. The prototype was named Sparrow, small, unassuming, but designed to fly where others couldn't see. It carried Earth's best stealth technology combined with reverse-engineered collective systems. On launch day, Maya met with Threll for their weekly progress report. She discussed Earth's advancements in the approved fields while Sparrow slipped away from the dark side of Titan, crewed by Chen and a specialized team. "Your people learn quickly," Threll said, seeming pleased. "Perhaps in another decade, we might discuss limited exploration rights to neighboring systems." "We appreciate your guidance," Maya replied, checking her neural implant discreetly. For 3 tense hours, she maintained pleasant conversation while receiving periodic coded updates. Finally, the message she'd been waiting for arrived. "Bird has flown the nest." The Sparrow had passed the checkpoint undetected. Humans had just taken their first unsupervised step into the wider galaxy. Over the next year, Sparrow made 14 covert missions, mapping nearby systems and gathering intelligence about the galactic community. Each time they returned with more concerning news. "The collective isn't just restricting us," Chen reported after their latest mission. "They're exploiting resources in systems they've declared off-limits to developing species." Maya reviewed the evidence. The collective had claimed certain regions were too dangerous for younger species, yet their own mining operations thrived there. Others were supposedly protected for cultural preservation, yet advanced collective research stations orbited primitive worlds. "They're not mentors," she concluded. "They're gatekeepers." The turning point came unexpectedly during a diplomatic function. An intoxicated junior member of the Xorilian delegation approached Maya. "You know, we weren't always mentors," he said quietly. "My grandmother told me stories. The Xorilians were once like you. Restricted, guided, controlled. It took us 5 centuries to earn our place. And now you do the restricting," Maya observed. The Xorilian looked ashamed. "The alternative is worse. Species that resist collective oversight tend to disappear." The next day, Maya presented this information to Earth's Security Council. "We have 2 options," she concluded. "Continue this charade for centuries until they deem us worthy, or take our future into our own hands." President Afolayan looked troubled. "If we openly defy them, we risk everything." "True independence always carries risk," Maya replied, standing tall. "But humans don't ask for permission when our freedom is at stake." The vote was unanimous. Operation Breakaway would begin. As Maya left the chamber, she smiled for the first time in years. The collective was about to learn an important lesson about humanity. When humans decide something matters, they don't ask for permission. The awakening storm. 5 years passed under the collective's watchful eye. Captain Maya Rice sat in her command chair aboard the ECS Phoenix, Earth's most advanced vessel disguised as a simple research ship. Her fingers moved across the holographic star chart displayed before her as the ship hummed quietly in orbit around Neptune, officially conducting atmospheric studies. "Captain, we're detecting an unusual transmission," reported Lieutenant Sophia Okafor, her eyes widening as she analyzed the data. "It's coming from the Cygnus Void." Maya frowned. The Cygnus Void encompassed nearly a quarter of this galactic sector. The collective had declared it strictly forbidden to all developing species, citing extreme dangers like quantum storms, gravimetric anomalies, and hostile entities. No human had ever been permitted to enter it, officially. "The transmission pattern matches distress protocols," Okafor continued. I forwarded it to collective headquarters as regulations require. Maya nodded, but her jaw tightened. Regulations meant delay. Regulations meant asking permission. Regulations likely meant more deaths. 2 weeks passed. The Collective Council held 3 emergency sessions to discuss the appropriate response. Meanwhile, the distress signal grew weaker. Maya attended each video meeting, watching with growing frustration as representatives debated the political implications of a rescue mission. The Xyrillian delegation insisted on caution, recommending a specialized team be assembled and properly equipped. The preparations will take another week, Threll explained during the latest session. We must follow proper procedures. The signal is failing, Maya countered. There may not be survivors left in a week. That would be unfortunate, another collective member stated flatly. But rushing into the Cygnus void unprepared would be reckless. The Phoenix is not equipped for such dangers. After the meeting ended, Maya sat alone in her quarters aboard the Phoenix. On her desk sat a small stone from Earth's Kilimanjaro, a reminder of home. She picked it up, feeling its weight in her palm. 5 years of asking permission. 5 years of being told to wait. 5 years of humanity being treated like children. Her decision crystallized in that moment. She activated her communication panel. Assemble all senior officers in the tactical room immediately. 20 minutes later, Maya faced her command crew. Their faces showed curiosity mixed with concern. The collective won't act in time, she told them directly. I'm taking the Phoenix to the Cygnus void to rescue the survivors. Silence filled the room. Chief Engineer Hiroshi Tanaka rubbed his beard nervously. Captain, he said, that's a direct violation of collective directives. It is, Maya agreed. This is voluntary. Anyone who wishes to remain behind will face no consequences. I'll note in my log that you followed orders. She looked at each officer in turn. I won't order any of you to risk your careers or possibly your lives. This is my decision alone. Not a single officer left the room. Navigator Lena Dias spoke first. We have enough fuel to reach the signal's origin in 36 hours at maximum speed. The medical bay is fully stocked and ready, added Dr. Martin Kim. I can mask our emission signature for approximately 18 hours, offered Tactical Officer Raj Patel. It won't fool them forever, but it might give us enough head start. Maya felt a surge of pride. This was humanity at its best. Prepare the ship. We depart in 2 hours. The Phoenix slipped away from Neptune's orbit under the cover of a routine survey mission. The ship's official flight plan showed a trajectory toward Uranus to study its atmospheric composition. By the time the Xyrillians realized what had happened, Maya and her crew were already approaching the boundary of the Cygnus void. Warnings flashed across the command screens as they crossed the invisible line. We're receiving automated alerts, Okafor reported. The collective is ordering us to turn back immediately. Acknowledge receipt but continue course, Maya replied. An hour later, Threll's face appeared on the main screen. His normally composed demeanor had given way to visible agitation. Captain Rice, you are in direct violation of collective law. Return to your assigned sector immediately. We've detected survivors in distress, Maya responded calmly. As per universal maritime and space law, we are obligated to render assistance. The Cygnus void is beyond your authority. A collective rescue team will be dispatched within 5 days. The survivors may not have 5 days. We're already en route and will reach them in 30 hours. Threll's scales flashed with angry colors. The consequences for this action will be severe. Your government will be sanctioned. Noted. Phoenix out. Maya cut the transmission. The ship plunged deeper into the void. Contrary to collective warnings, they encountered no immediate dangers. The vast emptiness featured beautiful streams of cosmic radiation outside their viewports. Sensors detect no unusual phenomena, reported Science Officer Fatima Al-Zohir. No sign of the spatial anomalies we were warned about. Keep alert, Maya cautioned. The danger may be real, even if exaggerated. On the second day, they encountered their first obstacle. a field of debris spanning their flight path. Navigator Dia skillfully guided the ship through the maze of twisted metal and rock. Some of this debris appears artificial, Al-Zahir noted, and very old. Signs of a battle? Maya asked. Possibly. The damage pattern suggests advanced weaponry. They continued forward. The distress signal grew stronger as they approached its source. Captain, Tactical Officer Patel said suddenly, I'm detecting multiple energy signatures. They're not from the distress beacon. Hostile. Unknown, but they're large and moving toward the distress signal. Time to intercept. 3 hours, approximately the same time, will arrive. Push engines to maximum. We need to get there first. The Phoenix surged forward, its engines glowing brightly against the void's darkness. Crew members worked tirelessly at their stations, monitoring systems pushed beyond their recommended limits. 3 hours later, they finally spotted their target, a ship roughly half the size of the Phoenix, drifting powerless among asteroid debris. Its hull was damaged, but largely intact. Life signs? Maya asked. Confirmed. Al-Zahir replied. Approximately 40 individuals. Species, not in our database. And the approaching energy signatures. 20 minutes out, Captain. 5 vessels, collective markings. Maya made her decision. Prepare boarding teams. We're getting those people out before the collective arrives. The rescue operation proceeded with practiced efficiency. The boarding teams found the survivors, a species with translucent skin and 4 arms, in hibernation pods. According to the ship's logs, they were Nayari, a species believed extinct for over a century. They were fleeing. Al-Zahir reported, reviewing the translated data. Their planet was being harvested by the collective. They've been in stasis for 80 years. Maya's expression hardened. Get them all aboard. Now, just as the last survivor was transferred, the collective vessels arrived. 5 warships, far more heavily armed than any peacekeeping force should be. Threll's face appeared on screen again. Captain Rice, you will surrender the refugees and your vessel immediately. These people need medical attention, Maya replied. They're victims of collective aggression. Threll's composure faltered. You don't understand what you're involving yourself in. Those creatures are dangerous. They harbor technology the collective has deemed too destabilizing. You mean technology that threatens your control, Maya countered. We've seen your records. The Nayari developed sustainable energy systems that would have made your resource monopolies worthless. This is your final warning. Surrender or be destroyed. Maya looked at her crew, seeing determination in every face. Humanity doesn't abandon those in need, and we don't surrender to bullies. Phoenix out. The battle that followed would later be known as the Awakening. Outgunned and outmatched, the Phoenix should have been destroyed in moments. But humans are at their most dangerous when cornered. Using tactics developed in secret and technologies the collective didn't know they possessed, the Phoenix disabled 3 warships before taking critical damage. As power systems failed and hope dimmed, unexpected allies arrived. Ships from other developing species who had been monitoring the collective's communications. Together, they drove off the remaining collective forces. The Phoenix leant home, bringing irrefutable evidence of the collective's true nature to the galactic community. 6 months later, Maya stood before the newly formed alliance of free species. 28 formerly restricted civilizations had united, with humanity playing a central role. The collective's grip on galactic affairs had been broken, their monopoly on advanced technology shattered. The road ahead won't be easy, she told the assembled representatives. The collective still controls significant resources and territory, but they've lost their most powerful weapon, the myth of their benevolence and superiority. As the session concluded, Ambassador Threll approached her. He looked smaller somehow, his scales dulled. You've changed everything, he said quietly. For better or worse, the galaxy will never be the same. Maya smiled. That's what happens when you try to cage humans. We don't ask for permission to be free. That night, As she stood on the observation deck watching the stars, Maya reflected on the journey ahead. Humanity had emerged onto the galactic stage, not as humble students, but as champions of liberty. The challenges would be enormous, the dangers real, but they would face them standing tall. Because when humans decide something matters, really matters, they don't ask for permission. They act.